You've seen these articles in the New York Times, Kamala Harris outraising Trump, and they say she's up ahead by like 200 million or something. Elon Musk alone is reportedly going to give Trump 180 million. Now, not Trump per se, but the super PAC. So, okay. So now back to current events, which we haven't been to yet, but we're going there.
So, Bob, do you think that if Kamala is elected, she will shut down Nonzero podcast and throw you in prison? You have been a dissenting voice over the Middle East, over Ukraine.
Elon Musk thinks she will put him in prison. I know
that was
seriously, like somebody tweeted that she would throw him in jail her first day in office, and he quote tweeted and said, "Yup, YUP." And we actually wrote about this a little in the latest issue of the Nonzero newsletter. About touched on the number of billionaires who seem crazy. I mean, there's him, there's Bill Ackman, who, having finally let go of the multiple shooter theory of the Trump assassination attempt, has now moved on to, what was it? It was, I'll track it down.
Stolen debate questions.
Oh, yeah. An actual, explicit conspiracy between ABC and the Kamala Harris team, like contriving to fix the debate. And look, there may be all kinds of biases and all kinds of implicit, even coordination, but ABC's smart enough not to actually do formal communication. I mean, he's, and then Peter Thiel, I heard, do this thing on Joe Rogan about, he's got this theory about how Jeffrey Epstein advised Bill Gates to start the Gates Foundation so that he could keep Melinda, his wife, quiet and not give her half of his assets in the event of divorce. It's just no evidence. These people, and the reason it concerns me is because of the amount of power these guys have now.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks to the Citizens United ruling largely, but you've seen these articles in the New York Times, Kamala Harris outraising Trump, and they say she's up ahead by like 200 million or something. Elon Musk alone is reportedly going to give Trump 180 million. Now, not Trump per se, but the super PAC. So these are technically different issues. New York Times thing is about campaign contributions per se. Elon is going to give 180 million reportedly to Trump super PACs, but he could, though obviously, and there are these laws about, well, you can't coordinate between a super PAC and the candidate. Yeah. And ABC News can't be biased in the debate. But of course, in the real world, these things happen. And I don't think there's any limit on what, I mean, seriously, we got a guy who is so crazy. He seems to think he'll be arrested the first day if she wins. So he's kind of motivated to keep her from winning. And our laws allow him to spend more than the total amount being spent by Kamala's campaign plus super PACs on Trump. And he can do that without losing a night's sleep. Okay. And that's where we are. If I sound agitated, it's not a joke. We are headed toward an oligarchy. And these fuckers are crazy. That's the worst part. I could deal with, like, if I were the oligarch, an enlightened oligarch, fine. What's not to like about that, Paul?
You'd be a good oligarch.
I would.
You respect free speech.
But do they ask me? Do they ask me to be the? No, I never. No.
I think the thing about oligarchs is you can't just wait to be asked. I think you got to claw your way up to the top.
I mean, what I'm saying is, why doesn't some billionaire say to me, Bob, you'd be a great oligarch, have all my money? Because they're not enlightened. That's why, because they're not qualified to be oligarchs.
It all ties together.
Yeah.
So your brand, you're many brands, but one of your brands is cognitive empathy, getting in the heads of people and figuring out what they really believe and what they want. You argue that this is essential for dealing with them, dealing with your friends, dealing with your enemies. So let me try this out with regard to Elon Musk. Exercising my own cognitive empathy, I do not think he honestly believes that he will be thrown into prison and have X destroyed if Kamala Harris becomes president. I think that if an election is coming and it looks like she's going to win, he is not going to find himself some island and some to escape from the clutches of the U.S. legal system. In fact, I imagine that if Kamala Harris becomes president, he will then direct a lot of his money to ingratiating himself with her and so on. I think that this is very performative. It is equivalent. It is the equivalent of Trump's many pronouncements saying, you know, if I lose, we are all going to go to the gulags. If I lose, Israel has 2 years before its ultimate destruction. It's performative.
I think it's about 40% performative. He's a troll and so on, but I think he does believe that he's just bad at handling evidence. It's like and I think he's a little paranoid. And there is some reason to look, of course, they don't like you, Elon. You're giving $180 million their opponent. You're right about that. Is there a danger that you will get fewer contracts from the Pentagon and the Harris administration? You better fucking believe it. And that's why if I were you, I would just kind of shut my mouth during the election, but it's up to you. But I do think he thinks it'll go much further than that. If you remember one of his first crazy tweets years ago during the Thai, when those kids were trapped in the cave in Thailand, and some guy who was like helping out there heaped disrespect on the submarine Elon was going to put together to save the day. And Elon called him a pedophile or pedophile or however it's pronounced. And if you looked in the comments, it like he was he wasn't kidding. And there's, he really defended. You can tell, he's saying you can tell he doesn't look like a pedo to you. And there was no evidence. It was a crazy projection to make. And, he's kind of deranged.